back to Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this book right here, Rock Guitar 101. I've been making some videos about this, so hopefully you've been watching them. And what I'm doing, this is a book I wrote, in case you don't know. See, it says Dwayne Jenkins right there. Got it published on Amazon. You can get it on there. And it's in paperback format and ebook format, so I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, what it is, it's just a starter book that gets you going if you're starting out playing rock guitar, if you're like a beginner. And what it does, it's just a few lessons here, like 7 lessons. And I got some bonus stuff in here as well. But it basically just kind of gets you started. Gets you started with what type of tools to get going, types of chords, some basic fundamental principles to get you playing your favorite rock songs, okay? So in this video, we are now at lesson 5, which is picking hand development. Now your picking hand is very, very important, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's take a look.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, so one of the things that's really important when playing guitar, and it doesn't matter if you're playing rock guitar or blues guitar or jazz guitar, folk guitar, country guitar, it doesn't matter, is your picking hand, okay? Picking hand is really doing a lot of stuff in the guitar playing that you don't really notice. I notice a lot of times when people look at guitar, you know, they'll be watching the fretboard hand, what the fretboard hand is doing, okay? What this hand here is doing, okay? But it's a lot of times it's what this hand is doing that's creating the magic, okay? Now one of the things that's real important is holding your pick, how you hold your pick, okay? How you hold it like this, you know, this is how I hold it and I face it towards the strings, okay? Now everybody's a little different, so, you know, but you do want to have the pointy end facing the guitar, okay? Facing the strings and then picking downward like this, okay? So that's something to think about as well right there, okay? So that's important. And I did make a video on how to hold your pick, and I'll put that in the link below. You can check that out. Some tips there for helping you to hold your pick to be able to pick the strings better, okay? Now, a lot of things too. There's a few different ways that you can do things, you know, you just got to experiment and kind of figure out what works for you. And in this video, in this lesson, lesson 5, picking hand technique, developing your picking hand, I'm going to show you some techniques that help me and that can help you with developing your picking hand. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm picking is kind of rest my hand on the strings a little bit, but not too much, because if you rest them too much, it just kills the sound. Just kind of have it on there. Another thing I do too is I take these fingers here and I rest them on the guitar body. Okay, so that way it gives me a little stability when I'm playing, okay? What you don't want to do is you don't want to be doing this where you're picking outward like this, okay, away from the strings, because it takes time, motion to come back, all right? What you want to do is pick downward and stay close to the strings, okay? And for some people, they can tuck these fingers in and just play like this, and that's fine. If that works for you, if you're having a problem doing this kind of thing, then my recommendation is take these fingers and rest them on the body. Rest them right here on the body of the guitar, so that way you can get a nice even strum, okay? Like this, all right? And then we've talked about the power chords, so hopefully you've watched the videos on those. And like I've told you in the past, what you want to do is you want to pick just these strings, okay? If you're playing your open E chord, you just want to pick the 6th and 5th string. If you're playing your open A chord, you want to pick the 5th and 4th string, these two right here. If you're playing the open D chord, you want to play these 2 middle strings, okay? Even your power chords, we talked about those. Hopefully you watched that, okay? And you're moving the power chords around. Notice how my picking hand is just staying on those 2 strings right there, just that. Staying right there, okay? And I'm using my pinky and my 3rd finger down here to stabilize my fingers, okay? I'll show you a little bit more of that here. There we go. All right. So that way you can kind of see that I'm using these fingers to stabilize my hand. It's very important, okay? So I'm holding my pick. I got the pointy part of the pick facing the strings, picking straight down like this, okay? So if I'm playing a power chord or an open chord on the A string, I'm just picking the 5th and 4th strings. If I'm playing a power chord off the D string, D and G string, these 2 middle ones, I'm just playing these 2 middle ones, picking these 2 right here. Okay, now Another thing that the picking hand does in rock guitar is it's very common is it does palm muting. This is very popular for like playing like Metallica and stuff, you know. It gives you that kind of metal sound, okay? And the way you do that is you take the palm of your hand right here and you rest it across right here, kind of between your bridge pickup and your bridge. Okay, and that's why it's called the bridge pickup, because it's close to the bridge. This one's called the neck pickup because it's close to the neck. And then this one in the middle is your middle pickup, okay? Now, every guitar is a little different, so you're going to have to experiment, all right? Everyone's a little bit different the way they're, so whatever guitar you have, but it's going to be kind of right here. And once again, as you can see, my pinky is kind of resting on the body. My whole hand is resting on the strings, and I just move it forward like this. Get this picking. Now, if you move too far forward, it kills it. See how it's killing it? And if you're too far back, it's not enough. So you just got to kind of find that sweet spot. Every guitar is a little different. You can also take it out, you know. So if you want that percussive, like metal sound, you got to work on your palm muting, okay? Very important. That's picking hand development right there, okay? Especially if you're playing like heavy metal, okay? You've got to get that palm muting down. It's very important. Okay, so another thing we want to do is learn how to pick downward real evenly, okay? Especially if you're going to pick more than one string, okay? Like let's say we're going to pick... are touching the body for it to stabilize my hand. That helps me out a lot. Now, if that might work for you, it might not. Just something you got to take into consideration, okay? Now, another thing that's important with your picking hand development and playing rock guitar is alternate picking, okay? Which is picking down and up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And notice how just my wrist is moving, not my whole hand. See, this isn't going on, just this. This part of my arm is staying still, just the wrist is moving. It's all in the wrist with musical instruments, and don't matter if you're playing the piano, the guitar, the violin, the trumpet, saxophone, it's all in the wrist, especially with guitar. You clearly see how I'm doing that, okay? So if you're playing some like, you know, some Metallica, some Iron Maiden, something with the Iron Maiden have this like galloping thing going on in their music that makes them stand out real cool, and that's just kind of like these triplets, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and that goes with our creating rhythm, the timing sequence that we talked about in the last lesson, okay? So let's say we're gonna play something like, you know, the Trooper or something. Actually, I think that's a Run to the Hills, but you understand what I'm saying. Very common technique in rock guitar is that alternate picking, you know. It's used with Iron Maiden, Metallica, Slayer, all kinds of great bands use that kind of galloping kind of thing. Even Heart used it back in the 70s in Barracuda. As you can clearly see, a lot of it's right here in the picking hand. You got to get that picking hand developed, because even if you get the chords down, if you don't have the picking hand developed to be able to do that, you'll never be able to play that song. You just won't be able to play that part, okay? So work on that. That it's a triplet fill. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and once again, like the time we talked about in the last lesson, work on your palm muting, because you got to get that palm muting down. Because if you were to do it without the palm muting, it'd sound like this. don't sound good. It sounds better with the palm muting. Okay? And then of course your alternate picking, that's very important. So when you're working with your, do some finger exercises. Work on that alternate picking, down, up. Then go to the next string, down, up. Next string, down, up, 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 down, up. Okay? Work on those kind of things. Very common for playing rock guitar. These are techniques that are very common for playing rock guitar, okay? Work on this picking hand development, and I guarantee you with the chords that you played so far, this is going to really help you out a lot. Playing this kind of... You can clearly see how my hand is doing that. 1, 2, 1 and 2. 1 and 1 and up. 1, 2, 3 and up. 4 and 1 and up. So if you were to count it, you could go like a 1 and, or you could go 1, 2, 3 and up. 1, 2, 3 and up. Okay? You could do it any way you want to. 1 and up, 2 and up, 3 and up, 4 and up, 1 and up, 2 and up, 3 and up, 4 and up. But see how much your picking hand makes all the difference when creating the rhythm. Your fretboard hand holds the chords, but it's your picking hand that creates the rhythm. So work on that. All right, so there you have it, some picking hand development, okay? So here's a few tips that I write in the book here to tell you, okay? You want to really begin to focus on your hand, your picking hand, okay? It's very important, like I told you, showed you a little bit in the last video clip about how important it is. It's like being a magician. You know, a magician, you watch magicians, and they're always, you know, got your attention with this hand, doing something with this, but in reality, the magic is being held with this hand, where they're kind of got it down here where you're not watching it, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, whoa, what happened? You know, because they were kind of misleading you. And that, a lot of guitar playing is like that too. Musician, magician, very similar, okay? And that's what you're trying to produce, is that kind of magic that magicians produce, but you're doing it with music. If you notice, the two words are very similar to each other. Musician, magician. A lot of techniques is similar, that kind of sleight of the hand, kind of magic that you want to create with your guitar, okay? So, watch for the placement of the pick, like I had mentioned to you, and like I said, I've got another video I made on some tips on holding your pick. I'll put that in the link below, so be sure to check on that, okay? And let's see, here's a couple tips here. You really want to pay attention to this lesson. You will develop a really good picking hand that will allow you to become a great player at playing rhythm. Okay, it's very important. If you're going to be a rhythm guitar player, you got to have a good picking hand. It's very important. You listen to like Metallica, any of these rock guitar players that were really good, they had really good rhythm. Even if they were good lead guitar players like Van Halen and Randy Rhoads and Jimi Hendrix and stuff, they had excellent rhythm. And that comes a lot from your picking hand, okay? When you're learning to play guitar, you are working on the development of both hands at the same time. So don't just focus on one hand, focus on them both. So if you're getting tired with this hand, you know, I'm left-handed, as you know, but as you're getting tired of holding the chords, maybe your hand's a little cramping up, take a break from that, work on your picking hand, work on that, work on your palm muting, work on your down picking, your alternate picking, your triplets, your timing, that kind of stuff, okay? So naturally, when the fretboard hand gets tired and forming the chords, work on that stuff, okay? And then that way, you will be developing both hands, all right? So if one hand gets tired, work on the other one. And then work on incorporating, putting them together, those motor skills, okay? So there you go. Thank you so much. That's lesson 5 of the book. And let's see, our next lesson is going to be Intro to Lead Guitar. We're going to talk about a scale that's real common in playing lead guitar, so that's going to be a lot of fun too. So if you need some help, like I said, grab this book. It's a great book for just starting out on playing guitar. Be sure to, you know, subscribe to the channel, click the button for future notifications, like the video. If you have any questions or any comments, be sure to leave them below, and I'll be sure to answer them. If you're working on something, if you're having some issues with anything that you're working on, let me know in the comments below and I'll help you out. I'll direct you to a video that I made that I might have made a video on that topic, or I'll make a video for it, okay? Because this is what I do. I help people, I make videos. So if you're in need of help with something that you're working on, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to help you. Or if you can message me, you know, through Facebook, or contact me through my website, you know. Anyway, it doesn't matter, just contact me and I'll help you out. That's what I'm here for, okay? So thank you so much. Be sure to visit my website at DwaynesGuitarLessons.com. I got a lot of great training on there and all kinds of stuff on my blog. And be sure to join my guitar club, Dwayne's Guitar Club, through the email, where I'll be sending you exclusive tips and training through the email to help you with your guitar playing, all right? So thanks so much for watching, and keep practicing every day like you're supposed to, and you, my friend, will be a great rock guitar player. Until next time, take care.